Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this morning's Shotsuki Hoyo and Bodhi Day service. We will begin this morning's service with the ringing of the Kansho, followed by Hyobyakumon and the reading of the Shotsuki names. Following that, we will then begin sutra chanting of Sambutsuge. We will then be led by the Dharma School 2nd and 3rd grade class in the Golden Chain of Love, followed by a Dharma message by Reverend Mukujima. Please enjoy today's service.
Namanda, Vats 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 Namanda. Today, on this occasion of the Mount of View Buddhist Temple's December Shotsuki Memorial Service, we come before the image of Amida Buddha to express our sincere respect for and gratitude to his Shotsuki honorees. As I read the Shotsuki names, please join me in silent meditation so that we may think deeply on their continuing influence on our lives. Yoshiko Akizuki, Edward Chikasue, Ichiro Chikasue, Richard Endo, Emiko Fujikawa, Mamoru Fukuma, Jun Furuichi, Emiko Furuta, James Furuta, Eigoro Hashimoto, Murna Hayashi, Sato Hiroshige, Dorothy Horiuchi, Jun Hoshi, Frank Hoshida, Teruko Ikeda, Amy Imai, Sueno Imamura, Hana Inoue, Harry Ishii, Iji Iwamoto, Uriel Izumi, Shogo Kaku, Mei Kawaguchi, David Kawamoto, Junso Kawamoto, Tsue Kawamoto, Toshiko Kawamoto, James Kawai, Tomiko Kosakura, Alice Koyano, Tomoe Kumamaru, George Kunimoto, Yoshio Kusaba, Nobuichi Masaki, Toshiko Mori, Kyoko Murakami, Tamae Nagatsuyu, Paul Nakagawa, Jen Nakamura, Masazo Nakamura, Miyuki Nakano, Shunsuke Nakano, Leo Nakayama, Frank Okimoto, Kelly Sakae, Jiro Sakano, Hatsue Sako, Yoshio Sato, Chiyo Shimoguchi, Yasuki Shinke, Origi Takasugi, Robert Taniguchi, Kiyomi Tanoue, Florence Tsukagawa, Hiro Uehara, Edward Yonemura, Teruo Yukawa. Let's remember with warmth and appreciation these past loved ones who've carefully and lovingly nurtured us to our present state. Also today, we are observing the Bodhi Day service to commemorate the enlightenment of Siddhartha Gautama, which took place on the morning of December 8th, over 2,500 years ago in India. Along with the rising of the morning star, he became the Buddha, the fully awakened one. As we observe this very auspicious occasion, may we learn from the content of his enlightenment and begin to live each day fully, happily, and gratefully. Please place your hands together in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Namanda, Butsu Namanda, Butsu Namanda, Butsu Namanda, Butsu Namanda, 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 Namanda. Go Butsunamanda, 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 Butsunamanda.
The Golden Chain by the second and third grade class.
I am a link in the Buddhist golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I must keep my link bright and strong.
I will try to be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will try to think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds.
Knowing that my actions will result in not only my happiness or unhappiness, but also the happiness and unhappiness of others as well.
May every link in the Buddha's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace.
Please join us in Gasho. Namo Amida Butsu.
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 The Golden Chain.
Namanda, Butsunamanda, 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 with a foolish being, full of blind passions, in this fleeting world, this burning house, all matters, without exception, are empty and false, totally without truth and sincerity. The nimbus alone is true and real. Namanda, Butsunamanda, 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 Butsunamanda. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for your online participation in our December Shotsuki Memorial and the Bodhi Day service today. I hope that you and your family enjoyed the relaxing Thanksgiving weekend. And today we are observing the Bodhi Day service, one of the most important of Buddhist observances. Bodhi is a Sanskrit word, which means highest wisdom or enlightenment. As you know, the historical Buddha, Siddhartha Gautama, attained enlightenment under the Bodhi tree on December 8th, over 2,500 years ago. Bodhi Day is when Siddhartha achieved enlightenment and became the fully awakened one. All Buddhists commemorate this great event by expressing deep gratitude for the innumerable causes and conditions which allow us to both encounter Siddhartha's wonderful teachings and to be mindful of his great achievement. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever wondered whether Amida Buddha actually exists? It's a great question for all Buddhists to ponder. The existence of Amida Buddha is often doubted because Amida is different from Siddhartha, the historical Buddha, whose earthly life nobody disputes. As you can see behind me, the image of Amida Buddha is at the center of the main altar in our Naiji. If you ask me, is that Amida Buddha? I'll answer, yes it is. But if you ask me, is that actually Amida Buddha? I would have to say, no, it isn't. That is because the statue is a representation of Amida Buddha's enlightenment and virtue, but it is not the Buddha himself. To be exact, we cannot see Amida Buddha because Amida Buddha is enlightenment itself. It has no color, or form. It is beyond our understanding and the perception to see this truth. It's a human nature that most of us find it hard to believe in things we cannot see. However, to study Buddhism is to realize that things we can see are not always the truth, and that instead we should try to be aware of the unseeable. That's the essence of Buddhism, namely, important things and the truth are not visible, and therefore cannot be seen. For example, if you are told, "Show me what makes you live," what would you do? I think that some of you will pat their chest and say, "It's my heart." But the heart is not the only reason you are alive. There might be some who will touch their heads and say, "It's my brain." And certainly a brain that doesn't function is a standard medical judgment of death, which is why an organ transplant can only take place after brain death is confirmed. But we cannot even claim that our brain is the one thing which keeps us alive. And even if you could display your heart or brain, those things alone are not what make you a living being. What I'm trying to say is that although each of us does have a precious life, if asked to bring it out and show it, it cannot be easily done. Our minds are also the same. If I ask you to show me your mind, there is no way you could display it to me in the palm of your hand, right? So it's a great mistake to believe that only the things we can see are real. There are certain important truths that cannot be seen. You may ask why these things cannot be seen. It is because truth has no color or form. Conversely, if all things had color and form, we would readily admit they exist. But if our eyes can see something, we have an instinctive reaction that it exists. For example, if we see a certain color, we can express an opinion about it. I like this color, I don't like that color. If I decide to dye my hair pink, somebody might complain. "Oh no, Sensei's hair is too bright. That's not appropriate for a minister," right? And also, whenever we notice a new object, we tend to form an opinion to it. This is beautiful, this is dirty, this is too big, or this is too small. In this way, if there is color, we attach to it. And if there is form, we attach to it. So if truth has color and form, we are likely to look at it from a biased viewpoint. Furthermore, if things have color and form, they are impermanent. Impermanence means ever-changing. There is nothing anywhere which exists in the exact same state for even an instant. And although I really don't know when my life will end, it is undeniable that my life is moving nearer to its end day after day. Please consider this. If everything we can see is impermanent, should we really put our faith in these things and depend solely on them when we need spiritual support? For most of us, what we depend on first is our family. But because a family is made up of living beings, in time it will also pass away. I know that some of you have lost a parent or grandparent, wife or husband, or a child or grandchild. Because we are living beings, we will have to say goodbye one day. Even the things which we seek in order to satisfy our desires in life, fortune, position, fame, all are ever-changing ceaselessly. And these fragile states will change, break, collapse, die, disappear. Whatever has color is meant to lose its luster, eventually fading to gray. There is an interesting Buddhist tale which I'd like to share with you. There was a rabbit which gathered a lot of food in the middle of a big green field. Although he tried to eat everything, he couldn't eat all of it, so he hid all the leftovers to enjoy later. There was nothing in the field to serve as a landmark, so he looked around for a suitable one. When he looked up into the sky, he saw a big white cloud right above his head. So he memorized its shape and then went away to play. A couple of hours later, the rabbit felt hungry again and went back to the field where his food was waiting for him. He looked up at the sky to find his landmark, but it had cleared up and there was not a cloud inside. As a result, he was not able to find where he had hidden his food. So he cried and cried. This is how the story ends. That's an interesting story, isn't it? But if you laugh at this foolish rabbit for relying on a cloud as a landmark, you are also laughing at yourselves, because we always depend on our families, fortune, position, and so on, just as the rabbit relied on the moving cloud as a landmark. In the opening meditation, I shared with you Shinran's words in the Tanisho. With a foolish being, full of blind passions, in this fleeting world, this burning house, all matters without exception are empty and false, totally without truth and sincerity. The Nembutsu alone is true and real. With these words, Shinran is clearly showing us what our spiritual support should be. We are all fools. It is not because we don't study or make good efforts. It is because our viewpoint is always blinded and clouded by delusion. That's why we are foolish beings who cannot see the truth. But because Amida Buddha deeply understands our blindness and foolishness, he gave us the primal vow to guide us to enlightenment. So now we can rejoice in the great working of Amida Buddha and recite the Nembutsu in deep gratitude for the primal vow, which is directed at each one of us. Nonetheless, it's really hard for us to believe that things we cannot see do exist. That's why Amida Buddha shows himself and appears before us as the Dharma body, as compassionate means. That's the familiar image of Amida Buddha, which greets us in our onajin or in our order at home. This is how Shinran describes the Dharma body as compassionate means in his writing, The Notes on Essentials of Faith Alone. Buddha nature is Dharma nature. Dharma nature is Dharma body. Dharma body as suchness has neither color nor form. Thus, the mind cannot grasp it, nor words describe it. From this oneness was manifested form, called Dharma body, as compassionate means. In other words, the reason Amida Buddha manifests the Dharma body as compassionate means is because by providing a concrete example to those of us who cannot see the invisible truth, we will at least understand in which direction we should direct our joined hands. The truth in Buddhism is not the truth which is sought in the world of science, but it is the truth of the inconceivable power which is always working on each one of us. This working allows us, though blinded by our passions, to attain enlightenment. This working full of such a loving wish is what we in Buddhism call truth. It's essential for Jodo Shinshu followers to simply accept that Amida Buddha came from the world of the truth and showed himself as a Dharma body, as compassionate means, in order to encourage us to place our hands together, Gassho, and say the Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu. By reciting the Nembutsu and understanding who Amida Buddha built the primary vow for, we will surely and naturally be able to shed our doubts about Amida Buddha's existence. It is not that we don't believe it because it cannot be seen. It is that we can believe it because it can be seen. I'd like to share a beautiful poem called Star and Dandelion, written by one of my favorite Japanese poets, Misuzu Kaneko. In the deep blue sky, like the small stones in the sea, the daytime stars, sinking until night comes, are invisible to our eyes. Though we cannot see them, they are there. Things invisible are still there. An old fallen dandelion silently hides in roof tile cracks. The strong roots, waiting until spring comes, are invisible to our eyes. Though we cannot see them, they are there. Things invisible are still there. Each time I read this poem, I fully understand that our lives have been raised and supported by the power of so many invisible things. Amida Buddha is enlightenment and the truth itself. We cannot provide Amida Buddha's existence to others by showing mere color and form. Still, it's very important for us to press our open hands together and then recite the Nembutsu Namo Amida Butsu as we honor Amida Buddha's image just as it is. This is how we can experience the ultimate enlightenment afforded us through the Dharma body as compassionate means. Although we don't have true wisdom, we've already been received by the light of Amida Buddha's wisdom. When we truly rejoice in this light, our doubtful minds will change into one of great joy. And these minds will be embraced gently by the working of supreme relief. That's the very moment within ourselves when we'll be able to feel Amida Buddha's existence. In closing, let's each be mindful of the great achievement of the Siddhartha Gautama, the historical Buddha, the Nembutsu teaching, which makes our encounter with the primal vow possible. Let's rejoice in the great working of Amida Buddha, joyfully embracing us each time we recite the Nembutsu, Namu Amida Butsu. Again, thank you very much everyone for your kind attention to my Dharma talk this morning. Please continue to stay healthy and have a great day. Please join me in Gassho. We are a foolish being, full of blind passions. In this fleeting world, this boarding house, all matters, without exception, are empty and false, totally without truth and sincerity. The Nembutsu alone is true and real. Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu.
Thank you, Reverend Mukojima, for your Dharma talk today, and thank you to the 2nd and 3rd grade class for leading us in the Golden Chain. Following today's service, there will be a Japanese language service, which will be in this main Zoom room, and also at the same time, an English language discussion in a breakout room during the Zoom call today. Please stay tuned and stay for our discussion or our Japanese language service. Thank you.